Migrants are currently finding it very difficult to cope in the UK. While some are looking into other opportunities in other developed countries to flee into, others are considering going back to their home country or their previous country of residence. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not here to discourage you about any relocation plans that you are having, but I would just encourage you to make sure that before you make any move to relocate to the UK, you are physically ready, you have weighed your options very well, and you are financially ready, and above all, you are mentally ready to face whatever situation you might meet here. I'm saying this because a lot of people are struggling in the UK right now, and today I'll be sharing the story of a close friend of mine who in the moment is considering going back to her home country. People who relocated recently are already sharing regrets that they wish they planned well, or they were kind of psyched because everybody just felt like, okay, coming to the UK, everything is perfect, everything will be okay, it's very easy to settle. Yes, some years back it was different. Now, because of the numbers of people coming into the UK, it is so difficult and coping in the UK currently. I'll be sharing the story of a friend of mine who recently relocated to the UK and is already contemplating going back to the country. I mean, she is in a dilemma right now. Hi, welcome to my channel talktogbemy. On this channel, I share news on immigration and relocation opportunities to move to developed countries without paying an exorbitant fee to lawyer or immigration agents. Kindly consider being a part of this family, as we would love to have you here. And for my returning subscribers, thank you so much for the likes, thank you for the shares, thank you so much for always taking your time to watch my videos. The story I'm about to share today is a pathetic one, and the most painful part of it is the fact that it happened to a friend of mine. Now, I have no preview information about relocation plans, but on this day I was just sitting in my house, and then I got a call on my WhatsApp number, Nigerian WhatsApp number, and then we got talking, and she was like, she's just tired, your situation is getting worse, this, that, and everything, and then she was crying. I was like, slow down, I don't understand, because I have no preview information that she's even in the UK. So she said they relocated into the UK last quarter 2022. Herself and her husband got admission in the university in Sheffield, and when they were coming, they were like, okay, at first they would put up with their aunts just for them to get a house and all those kind of things, you know, the normal way. One would just think that since it's just UK, and this aunt of hers is actually based in Sunderland, and for anybody who is in the UK, you can imagine the distance between Sunderland and Sheffield, which is two separate cities. So to cut long story short, they actually came and they told their aunt that they will be staying with her for a particular period just for them to get an accommodation. So the aunt was okay with it, and then they came. But after some time, the aunt started asking them that, okay, what's your plan? What are you going to do? You need to go to Sheffield. Is when you are in the particular city where you want to get an accommodation. That is when it will be easier for you to get an accommodation. So all said and done, they had to now move, and they got a place in Sheffield, like it's like an A and B accommodation. They moved there, and whilst they were there, they were trying to get their account open or something like that, and they used the address of the Airbnb. So I don't know, probably maybe the bank was trying to make some verification about the address or something. I don't know how come, because naturally when you open a bank in the UK and you've dropped your address and everything, they don't ask you all those details. But anyway, she said so the bank actually placed a restriction on her account, so she couldn't withdraw, she couldn't make any payment or do anything with her card. Whilst they were there, they were trying to get a room apartment. So, and anybody who is in the UK, I mean, if you know the renting pattern in the UK, this landlord will not accommodate a couple in a room apartment. Now, they've been struggling to get a room apartment or even studio flat, and what makes it difficult for them to get a place in studio flat is that because she's actually pregnant and she's already showing. So each time they just finish talking to the agent or the landlord, as case may be, when it's time for them to go for the viewing and then they see them, then they'll be like, oh no, sorry, we cannot take you in this apartment. So they kept on staying in the Airbnb, and they were paying more in that apartment. So eventually people told them that let your husband be the one to rent the apartment, and they should just tell them that, okay, that he's the one who wants to rent, like not making them to know that he's got a wife or something like that. So that actually worked, right? And that was like I think the second month or the third month into their stay in the UK. I think that was in December or something like that. Yes, it was in December. So she was already feeling cool that at least they would spend the Christmas in their own property, right? So they got the place, they paid, and then the husband moved in and the wife also came and they were fine. So one of the days, the agent or the landlord, I can't really remember which was, the owners of the house came to show another apartment in the property to another tenant. So when you're living in a shared apartment, it's always like a 3-bedroom apartment. It has one living room, toilet, bathroom, as the case may be. So the 3 rooms will be split among 3 different people. So landlords most times don't always like to take a couple in a room shared apartment, because that will mean more people living in the house, and sometimes they are always being questioned by council if they get to know that they have more adults living in the 3-bedroom. So what they prefer to do is to get only singles. So by the time they get maybe 3 singles in each of the rooms, it will just be 3 people occupying 3-bedroom apartment, as the case may be. So the landlord came and was showing the other room, and that was when she was going to the kitchen. And then I was like, oh, hi, started engaging her in a conversation. And then she didn't know it was the landlord, because she didn't go with her husband when they went for the viewing and everything. So she said, oh yes, she lives in this place, that this is her room. She was feeling so confident about the fact that this is her place and everything, trying to encourage the new tenant that, the place is peaceful and everything, not knowing that she's kind of, cutting herself on the leg. Like, I don't know how best to explain it. Like, it actually doesn't work hard for her. So after that conversation, the landlord had to call her husband and started questioning the fact that you said it's just you alone getting this room. How come you have your wife there? And at that point, there's no way they can deny anymore. And the fact that she's even pregnant, because one thing about this country is that apart from old women, children, the next people that they don't joke with is a pregnant woman. And now having a pregnant woman in a shared apartment, which is having a couple in a shared apartment is even illegal, like it is wrong. Now having a pregnant woman, so by the time she will have a baby, obviously she will have the baby in that same apartment, you see. And when you have your baby in the UK, there's this health visiting team that will come to check to see the condition of the place where you plan to have your baby. The house where the baby will grow up, or where the baby will be living, just to come and see to make sure that everything is okay. And that's when the landlord now insisted that they have to move out again, and they've been begging the landlord, but the landlord insisted that if they don't move out, it's going to report to council or make whatever body is in charge let them know that that these people are actually violating the rule of renting or that kind of a thing. So that was when she now called me that she doesn't know what else to do again, because she can't just go through the stress that she went through already. One of the other things she mentioned to me again is that whilst they were doing their search for an accommodation, that most of the landlords will not even take a month rent from them. Normally in the UK, you pay 1 month rent and 1 month extra. And eventually, when they were able to get this place, because people have been trooping into the UK recently, so these landlords are trying to be smart. Some of them are just doing it just out of greed and asking for 6 months rent, 3 months rent, 4 months rent, from people, while some are doing it out of fear of the fact that some, after paying their 1 month rent, might not be able to renew the rent, and then it's now started causing problem between tenants and landlord. So most landlords now hardly take 1 month rent and 1 month deposit. What they do now is to ask for like 6 months, 4 months, or 3 months. And luckily for them, they got this particular landlord who took only 2 months rent from them and a deposit, so that's like 3 months, right? And now again they're about to lose the house, so she's just confused about, doesn't have the strength to just go through all the stress and then trying to rent an apartment. And when they finally settled, they have to start planning to move. So at this point, she was like, she doesn't even mind anymore, that she just want to go back home. But now she's finding it very difficult to go back home, because the shame, it's very difficult when you've already said your goodbyes to people. Some people have resigned from their place of work. Some have already, they have to sell some things just to make this relocation plan work out, only for you to now be going back home. And she just said she's in the dilemma. She doesn't know what to do, and that's why she had to call me to say that she doesn't even know if there's any other plans, or if there's any other thing she can do, or if there's any advice I have for her, but she's just confused and she's like, she wants to go back. The husband is saying she can't go back, so it's even causing issues in their marriage already. And when I heard about this thing, I just felt it's very important to share with you guys, because fine, we make it, we content creators, we do our research about relocation opportunities, and even more relocation opportunities are coming up. But it is very important for you to weigh your options very well, to ask yourself, am I doing very well in my current country? Do I think I can stay in my current country? Ask yourself, what is the reason for relocating to the UK or to any other country, and what is the reason for leaving the country where you are currently, for you to be sure if it is a good move for you to relocate. Now, I'll share a video on how to prepare yourself ahead of relocation, what to do before you arrive, what to do as soon as you arrive, because I've heard different experiences of different people and I've put together all this information, and I will share it with you just so that you are sure that you really want to relocate before you go ahead to relocate. And it will also prepare you ahead so that you don't fall into, or you don't make the same mistakes that people who relocated recently actually made. Do not forget to subscribe, share, so that other people can be able to benefit from this. Thank you, and all the best with your relocation plan. Until I see you in my next video, bye for now.